Hello, this is Dinah Lane from the Harwich Channel, and I'm here today with folks from the Harwich Conservation Trust. Michael Locke, the Executive Director, whom we all know very
Dinah.
well. Hi. And Connor O'Brien as well, who's the Director of Land Stewardship.
Thanks for
And
having us on, Dinah.
so nice to see you both. And we have also Danny Exity, who is a AmeriCorps service member.
Yep, nice to be here.
Very nice to see you. And you are working with the Harwich Conservation Trust for this year, which is so great.
Yep.
So we'd love to hear more about it. Connor, perhaps you could talk about what kinds of things you're doing and how Danny is being involved in that.
Sure. So Danny is an AmeriCorps Cape Cod service member, and AmeriCorps is a national service organization, and the Cape Cod chapter of AmeriCorps has been around for 25 years now, and Harwich Conservation Trust has partnered with them for a lot of that time. The AmeriCorps members serve on Cape for 11 months in different capacities, but the focus is on land management, environmental education, volunteer engagement, and disaster preparedness. So with Harwich Conservation Trust, Danny is serving 2 days a week, but the members serve with individual placements 2 to 3 days a week, and then the other 2 or 3 days a week they serve in a group capacity, and they join local governmental and nonprofit conservation and disaster preparedness organizations and help them with whatever they need. So Danny has been working with us, serving with us in different ways, primarily in land stewardship. He's also been working on some GIS projects with some of our volunteers, and soon he'll start working with the AmeriCorps member with the Conservation Department, Town Conservation Department, Margaret Sargent, on planning the Tour to Trash event coming this spring. So that is a little background on AmeriCorps, and I think we can move to Danny to talk about himself.
Sure, yeah.
That would be great. Could you just define what GIS is for
So
the
GIS
audience?
is a digital map making software. Danny has been working to make us a working map of all the Harwich Conservation Trust properties so that we can better manage them and manage our signs and our kiosks and our benches. So very, very useful. We really appreciate Danny's got a background in computer science, so that's very helpful to us.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Danny, can you talk a little bit about what it's like for you here with the Harwich Conservation Trust, as well as your year in general?
It's great. You know, the AmeriCorps program is awesome, and everybody at HCT is super helpful and excited to be there. All the volunteers every Tuesday that we do volunteer projects, they're always they're there and they're helpful, and they're great to talk to. One of them that I'm learning GIS from, he's great. He's super helpful. And the projects are awesome. It's great to learn about what kind of process land stewardship takes. And I've just been, taking as much time to learn as much as I can throughout this year. Yeah.
And you're helping create maps? Is that what you're doing?
Yes. So
of all
we
the
have
Harwich Conservation properties, right?
We have all the map of Harwich with all the conservation properties. I've been placing where all the trailheads and signs are currently.
Very helpful.
Yep. And the learning process is still going, but it's going well.
But it's so important for access for other people, to know where they're going, and it sounds like a really big piece of work you're doing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great. Good. So let's see. Next, I think we wanted to talk about the volunteers, and specifically the Pelham House.
Yes.
Has been volunteering, I believe, Connor, is that right?
Yes, we're excited to talk about some of the local businesses that have been volunteering with HCT. We appreciate their generosity. Recently, we partnered with the Pelham House, who some staff from the Pelham House volunteered with us at Pleasant Bay Woodlands to plant milkweed seeds. That's part of a long-term project to restore milkweed in the meadow at Pleasant Bay Woodlands, and that's to support monarch populations. Monarch populations have declined significantly in the last century, so to try to help them out, we can do a few things. we can reduce pesticide use, we can reduce herbicide use, which kills off milkweed, and we can help restore the habitat. And the milkweed plant is a really important part of monarch habitat because it's the only host plant. That means that monarch caterpillars only eat milkweed and monarch butterflies only lay their eggs on milkweed. Locally, we have a number of native species, but we planted three of these native species: the common milkweed, the butterfly milkweed, and the swamp milkweed. So we're hoping to see germination come spring and summertime of these milkweed in the Pleasant Bay Woodlands meadow, and create a good habitat for those monarchs so that their populations can grow. And we should also mention the Wauquasit Resort has been very generous with their time. We've partnered with them on a number of volunteer projects. Last year, they worked in the Pleasant Bay Woodlands meadow to help remove invasives and get the meadow started. So the meadow there, we've been doing a habitat restoration for probably about 6 years now. AmeriCorps has served there. Our volunteer land stewardship crew has served there, and now these local businesses are helping out too. So it's a really great success story, and we're hoping to enhance it even more with the milkweed and the monarch habitat.
Yeah, it's wonderful you're getting the community so involved and the businesses.
Yes.
And the Pleasant Bay Woodlands is so close to Wauquasit, I would imagine a number of their guests enjoy that area. So
I'm sure, yeah.
it's particularly appropriate for them to be helping. It's great. Good. Okay, so finally, I think we have the Red River Project still to talk about, which is ongoing, has been ongoing.
Yes,
And
yeah.
would love to hear from you, Mike, about how things are going with that.
Thanks, Dinah. And listening to Connor and Danny, I first wanted to say thank you both for all your time out there, and by extension, all of our dedicated volunteers. Here we are at the wrapping up 2023, and many important and long-lasting stewardship activities have been completed across a number of properties to enhance wildlife habitat, to track wildlife populations, including songbird nesting success, box turtle sightings, river herring counts, and then, as we heard, local businesses also volunteering their staff to get out on the land. And AmeriCorps, whether it's Danny individually or in group projects, they have been a longstanding partner and continue to be so. So we're lucky. So
Yes.
yeah, and onward to 2024. But before we get to 2024, let's talk about Red River Valley Preserve Project. So everybody might have seen this. We mailed this town-wide. This is the fall-winter newsletter for Harwich Conservation Trust, and the lead article is about the Red River Valley Preserve Project. So a little background. Little did we know on January 1st of this year, 2023, that this property would go on the market. 9.6 acres on the south side of Route 28. You'll see the aerial there of the property. It was 9.6 acres along Route 28. And the property borders Red River, which doubles as the town boundary between Harwich and Chatham. And the property has over 780 feet of streamside habitat along Red River that flows all the way south to Nantucket Sound, right next to the town's largest and most popular beach, Red River Beach. And you can see a house there that's on the property. This property and the house had been owned by the Chase family for over 90 years. And, we were fortunate, Harwich Conservation Trust was fortunate to have the opportunity to work with a nonprofit partner, the Compact of Cape Cod Conservation Trusts, who on Harwich Conservation Trust's behalf was able to do a buy and hold of the property. So what does that mean? That means acquire the property temporarily to get it off the market, and give Harwich Conservation Trust the time it needed to raise the funds. And that's where we are now. We have until December 31st to raise the funds needed to preserve this property. A little more environmental context, you see this map. So the 9.6 acres, the former Chase property, outlined in red, the larger of the two red polygons there on this, and that one being on the south side of 28 that we just saw the aerial of. And then at the same time, we were working quietly with another family, the Baker family, and they own 2.74 acres on the north side of Route 28. That property being in their family for over a century. So that's why, in all of our lifetimes, that's why we have seen the forested gateway there to Harwich as we travel along Route 28 from Chatham into Harwich. That's what we've all ever known, is that scenic forested view as we travel along Route 28. That's one of the elements we really want to preserve through this effort, is that scenic experience entering Harwich. There's also, like I mentioned before, the water quality importance, and then downstream next to Red River Beach, there's a herring run. You can see on the map the herring run that's pointed out, where the herring each spring swim upstream into Red River and then hang a left and swim up that run into Skinnicket Pond, one of two documented river herring runs in Harwich. Then, of course, what we have, as I mentioned before I mention that, you can see some triangles on some blue shaded shapes, properties. Those triangles are actually municipal wells, town drinking water wells, both in Harwich and on the other side of the town boundary in Chatham. And these two properties are within the public water supply recharge area for those wells. So by preserving the properties, we help protect the public drinking water supply for over 7,000 households in Chatham and over 13,000 households in Harwich. So very important for the public drinking water supply. And then we have that house, again, on that south side. You saw on that aerial. I don't know if it's possible to bring that aerial up again, but you saw that house. That's a house that was in the Chase family since 1950s. It's in great shape. And we thought, geez, this could be a great opportunity to adapt into a new Harwich Conservation Trust office and learning center. Our current office is about half a mile down the road to the west. And, you know, we've been pushing the space limits there because of all of the great volunteers that have been working alongside us, either in the office or out on the land. Doing good work across the 7 villages of Harwich. And we need more room to continue to offer meaningful volunteer experiences, to continue to work with our partners in the region on a variety of land preservation, eco-restoration, and land stewardship initiatives. And we also are thinking about creating a loop trail on the property that will be open to the public. So it could be a whole new trail destination. So overall, the campaign goal is $4.25 million by December 31st. And we have about $300,000 to go. Which is fantastic. Amazing generosity across the community, bringing us this close to the goal. And now we have about 2 weeks left to raise the remainder. So $300,000 left. If anybody has year-end giving plans.
It's the end of the year.
End of the year, yes.
Traditional for people to be giving money, of course.
Yes,
so.
And folks can see more photos, learn more about the project at harwichconservationtrust.org. So we invite your support, and we will be creating a brand new conservation destination for all to enjoy.
It is a wonderful site. I've been there, and it's all that you say and more. And it can be more, too, once you get there. And I gather that the house itself, if it could be used as offices, will require very little work. It seems to be in excellent shape.
Yeah,
so that's good to know, too.
It is in excellent shape, and part of that campaign goal includes funds for adapting the house for office use, including,
of course,
refurbishing the garage into the new learning center where we can host volunteers and other groups, including educational programs, which will be terrific.
Yes, but it is a great gateway into Harwich, too, and as you say, it would be wonderful to preserve that.
Yes, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about that.
Sure,
and,
thanks for your time.
reminding us of the importance of it, as always. And thank you, Connor and Danny, for coming and for doing all the work that you do to make this all happen.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for having us.
yeah,
Yep.
great to see you both. Great to see you all. Thank you,
You
Michael.
as well. Thanks, Dana.
Yep. This is Dinah Lane for the Harwich Channel. Thank you.